Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for tuning in, and first of all I just want to say a huge shout out for all the love and support I've gotten recently on my past video. Honestly, it's been great to hear how much you guys support me, but also hearing your other stories that you guys share in terms of similarities, either quitting your job or even just really following your passion or interest. I'm super excited to follow your journey, but also super excited and really appreciate the love and support I've gotten so far. Since that last video, I have landed my dream job, and I'm here to kind of tell you guys a little bit more about that and the process, but really also to give you guys a few tips that has really helped me land my dream job. So I'm going to start with a few disclaimers before I dive into my process and kind of how I got here in terms of landing my dream job. So the first disclaimer I would say is your dream job is your dream job. This dream job cannot be the dream of your parents. It cannot be the dream of your spouse, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, of your friend, or your community. It has to be your dream job. It has to be something that you're interested in, that you're passionate in, that you really are okay with spending potentially hours at a day working at. Really follow what it is that you want to do. Try not to follow just a typical stereotype jobs that are usually known for making money, like business or IT, unless it is your passion. But I think I am living proof of someone who went into a field like communications and was able to make six figures at the age of 26 with only a few years of experience and only with an undergraduate degree. I know, speaking with my friends who are around the same age group and graduated when I did, who are in the field of like IT or business or accounting, who made less than I did in the field of communications. Granted that it took me some time to get there, and I was good at what I did and really fought for my salary, but again, honestly, if you are passionate about it, it will come. The second disclaimer I would say is that dreams do change. I like to think of dreams as goals, essentially. When you hit one goal, one dream, you don't just stop dreaming or stop planning or stop having goals. So definitely don't feel constrained in terms of having one dream or one goal, but definitely being able to have that outline and where you want to go, the steps you need to take is super important. But do not be fearful to tell someone or to express that your dream has changed, your goal has changed, because that happens as we grow. We gain new insights, we gain new learnings, and we shift gears in terms of what we want to do. So your dreams can change. So you might have a dream this year, but it might be different next year, and that's totally okay. As long as you're working towards something that you want to work towards and that's your passion, that is okay. So I'm going to start talking a little bit more about my process and how I landed my dream job, the steps I had to take. But I also really want to leave you guys with 3 tips that I have that I learned also from this process, but from my previous process of interviewing and applying for jobs. To start off, I did start by applying to 5 jobs. I was able to receive 3 offers at the end of it, and I denied 2 interviews along the way. I'm super grateful to be able to say that again, and I think I've learned a lot in that process. I really want to share with you guys, being humble as possible. But again, you really don't hear that as often. You hear people applying for jobs for years, for months, and they don't hear back from not one employer. I was able to hear back from all 5 applications I put in within 48 hours. The first one responded back to me less than 12 hours. It happened to be the one that I ended up going with. But again, I think that just speaks a lot to my process and what kind of happened to lead me there, that I really want to share with you guys. So the first thing that I would point out, the first step that I took was, one, being able to identify my current position that wasn't making me happy. So that particular industry, working in political advertising, wasn't my area of interest. So the first step I took before even applying is really outlining what is my interest, what are my passions, what do I want to work on. And I was really able to focus in on brands, so brands like Nike, Coca-Cola, McDonald's, like that kind of brand recognition, but working on their marketing and advertising campaigns, something I've always been really interested in and really being able to learn from. So once I was able to identify that I wanted to work with brands, I looked for advertising agencies and firms that work with those brands. In my field, it's pretty common that you can go on a particular agency's firm website and see their client list and be able to see who they work for. So that was helpful for me to do ahead of time before applying, to see, like, do I like these clients they have? Would I be okay spending hours working on these accounts? Do they have missions that I support? Again, I think these are all important factors that you should think about when applying for a particular position. Once I was able to identify that, that these particular agencies had the clients that I would like to work for, I began to put in my application, putting in my resume, my cover letter, and really just putting myself out there. I narrowed it down to 5 to start with. So again, I submitted my applications for those and I was able to hear back within 48 hours. The next step I took, of course, was the interviewing process. Was they reached back out to me. One thing I really want to highlight here is that since this was my dream job, I kind of had an idea of what I wanted to do. So this allowed me to tailor questions for each particular position I was applying for that particular organization. Hadn't done my research ahead of time, it really allowed me to put together formulate questions based off the job description I was looking at, the company's website, their clients. I was really able to tailor questions to ask them to make sure that it was a good fit for me and what I was looking for in my next step. After that, again, I was able to kind of do a process of elimination throughout the interview process. So again, because I had these questions tailored based off my research and based off my interests, I was able to see which organizations I would want to work for and which one I would not want to work for. So again, during the interview process, a few organizations had continued to reach out to me and wanted me to continue on to the next round of interview, but I had denied those requests and specifically said that it wasn't in line with my career goals. They're very much understanding and okay with it, but again, I think it's really important that you stick to your true self during the interview process, and not allow yourself to kind of say things that might be of interest of the organization, because again, you are looking to put yourself in a really great position that is your dream job. You have to put your best foot forward, and not one that you think the organization would like over your own true identity. So after multiple rounds of interviews with all these organizations, I was finally extended an offer for an organization that I honestly fell in love with during the whole interview process. From the different people I was able to meet, the questions I was able to ask them, the questions that they were able to ask me. Honestly, I knew it was my dream job. It honestly checked off all the boxes in terms of things that I was looking for in my next role, in my next position, and as my dream job. It was just so amazing, the interview process after the interview, and after I got that offer letter, the CEO reached out to me, and this is a huge organization. They have 4 offices in the US and 3 offices outside the US as well. So for the CEO to reach out to me independently and congratulate me on the offer, I also had an SVP who I had not even interviewed with who reached out to me to congratulate me, just because she said she had heard such great things from the people who had interviewed me. She mentioned how they loved my energy, they loved my excitement and my experience and my knowledge, and they were so hoping that I would accept the offer to join their organization. Again, I really think that goes back into your interest. If you're interested about something, if you're passionate about something, it truly does show. Mind you, again, I was doing all these interviews via Zoom. So for my energy to be felt via Zoom, via camera, long distance, I think that's important. It really speaks to my interest in terms of the kind of work that they do there. I think it's really important that you follow your passion and that you follow your interests, because people will see that and people will want that at their organization. So from all that, I want to leave you guys with 3 tips. The first tip is do your research. Do your research on the organization you're applying for. Do your research on the position itself. What are the growth opportunities? What is the pay like at this organization? What is the pay like outside in that market? What clients they work for. I mentioned how that was something that I was really interested in. I was able to research that. Depending on what industry you're in, it might not be totally available to you online. So if you do get an offer to do an interview, make sure you ask those questions during that period. Also look at, again, do your research. What is the dynamic of the organization? As a young Black woman, that's something I look for, and I ask them during my interviews, saying like, hey, what is your diversity like? What is your inclusion like? So again, really tailor these questions and do your research based on what you can find, but also be able to do that research and put together questions that might not be answered from your research. The second tip I have is to network. Network with people in your industry, network with people in those similar positions, network with people in those organizations to really get a true, honest review on how it's like working there. I really also want to highlight that you can network with folks who are not in the organization, who are not in that particular department that you're looking to work for, or even in that role. You can also network with people like recruiters. Again, those will come in handy in the future if you are looking to move jobs or transition. They can help you out in terms of finding that new job for you. During this more recent interviewing phase when I was applying for this new role, there was a recruiter who I kept in contact with. I denied an offer from her initial position that she was hiring for, and I simply said it doesn't fall in line with my career goals. 2 weeks later, she reached back out to me, and I'll put a screenshot here of a new opportunity that came on her plate that she thought I would be a good fit for. Again, I didn't have to apply for this position. I didn't have to reach out to her to ask her, but because I was able to talk to her ahead of time from that previous application and interviewing phase, but I was also really honest about what my career goals were. When she got a new opportunity, she immediately thought about me and reached out to me and expressed interest in me applying and potentially getting an interview scheduled. So again, you can network with people who are, of course, are in the particular field that you're in and the same positions you're in, but it's also important to network with people who are like recruiters who might give you a better insight on the market, salary, and positions that might be coming down the pipe. And the third last piece of advice I have is to prepare your questions. As someone who acted as a hiring manager and recruiter, it was always really heartbreaking to be in an interview with somebody and they never had questions for me. It shows lack of interest. It shows that you don't really care for this position and that you were almost a little bit unprepared, essentially. So while you're doing your research, I would highly encourage you to prepare questions. Again, if you're looking for a particular answer that you're not able to find from your research online, jot that down. And if you have an interview set up with these people, make sure you ask those questions. Always come in with questions during your interview. Again, it shows that you're interested. It shows that you've done your research. It shows that you're excited about this position and the possibility that you want to get clarification on certain things within the job description. Just make sure you ask questions, okay? It's super important. It shows your interest, and you really want to make sure that it's the right position for you, and the only way to do that is if you ask questions. The whole part of your interview really is not just for the organization to interview you, it's for you to interview them. Make sure that it is the right position and that the right organization that you want to join, and that you also get something out of it too. So I hope that all was helpful for you guys. I hope you guys got something from that. Again, this is just my story that I went through more recently, and again, it's just been super blessing, and I really want to share the information with you guys. I'll say it again, I think there's space for all of us at the top, but only if we're able to share all this kind of information with each other. So I encourage you to share this video with your friends or family, if not even just some notes. But again, thank you guys for all the love and support. I hope you guys stay tuned. I hope you guys check out my website, because I am coming out with an ebook where I talk more in detail about how to land your dream job, showing you guys more detail on my process in terms of interviewing and asking questions, again, from someone who has gone through an extensive amount of interviews, but someone who has played a part as a hiring manager. So check out my website for more information there, but don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Leave me any questions. Reach out to me if you want to talk about anything independently. If you're going through the same transition more recently, you just have some few questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. Again, thank you guys for all the love and support, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.